Hi, my name is Mary McCormack, and this is my story. I was born Mary Rose Daly on May 14th, 1952 to John and Ellen Daly in Lana Drina, a small town in West Cork, Ireland. John and Ellen Daly were farmers. John inherited the farm from his father. I was the sixth child of 10 siblings, starting with the eldest, Norma, Margaret, Vera, Catherine, Michael, me, Mary, Geraldine, Carmel, James and Finbar. Interestingly enough, the 10 kids never lived together at home because of the age difference between eldest and youngest, 20 years. Norma and Margaret had left home before James and Finbar were born. It was pretty crowded with 8 kids living with our parents in a 3-bedroom house. Due to ailing health and having daughters rather than sons who would generally take over the farm, my father was forced to sell the farm in 1970. Even so, it was a sad day for my parents, but us children were really excited moving to Manans Drina, where we had an inside bathroom and hot running water. Our elementary school was a one-room classroom where we had one teacher and she taught 4 grades all at one time. My high school was in Dunmanway, run by the nuns, which was 8 miles from my home. So the first year I stayed with my aunt in Dunmanway, and then the second year I cycled to and from the school, which was 8 miles each way. And then the third year we got a bus in Drina where they would pick up the students and take them to Dunmanway. After I finished high school, Vera was working in Cork and she helped me get my first job. It was with 3 dentists and they worked in Patricksale, Cork, and my boss was Tim Reardon, and he encouraged me to become a certified dental assistant. I became one of the first certified dental assistants who graduated from UCC Dental Hospital. And I loved my job, and the partners treated us really well. It was during this time that I met my husband, Barry. He was studying engineering at UCC, and I went to a dance and the Cork Con Rugby Club, and he was also there. And that's the beginning of another new whole story, which I'll tell you about later. Our romance flourished, and we realized after I went to the USA to visit Margaret, Vera and Catherine, and Barry went to Greece with his friend, we realized we were meant for each other. We got engaged that winter and married the following year on August 10th, 1974. I wore a long white dress with shoulder-length veil which covered my long black hair, which Barry loved. Many of my sisters were bridesmaids who wore long yellow dresses. Yellow is a happy colour. What a day! As well as Jack Lynch, who's the ex-Prime Minister of Ireland. He sang the banks, and at the end of the evening The manager had to ask us please leave because he wanted to shut down the hotel. After our honeymoon, which was spent in Ireland, Barry and I were waiting for visas to go to the US, where Barry was offered a contract in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for big dollars. The visa process was taking so long that we decided to rent, and we finally bought a house in Ballinlough, Cork. The US visa never materialized, so Barry accepted an offer he got from Pettit's in Cork, where he worked, to take a one-year contract in Zambia in Central Africa. We jumped at the opportunity of going to Africa, and I consider that year one of the best years of our lives. We had a fantastic social life, and it was just great. It was in Zambia in 1975 that I first noticed my first symptoms of what would later be diagnosed as multiple sclerosis, but more about that later. I got work immediately due to my certification. I got work with a Hungarian lady dentist, Dr. Tork. Zambia was full of culture, experience, travel and new friends. We travelled Zambia from east to west and had very memorable journeys, one being to Luanga Valley National Park, the game farm there, and then we also visited Victoria Falls. We travelled outside Zambia and went to Malawi and Zimbabwe, which was Rhodesia. Our year in Zambia stands out in our memory as one of the greatest years. Not only did I have a house servant in Zambia, his name was not Barry, it was Leonard. Leonard had his wife had a baby, and he called her Mary after me. While we were in Zambia, we met a couple from Victoria, and we told them we were interested in going to Canada on our next trip, so they highly recommended Vancouver. Really, we didn't know where Vancouver was, but after a fantastic 4-week trip from Lusaka back to Cork via Mombasa and Nairobi in Kenya, and then went on to Egypt, Cairo, Athens, Greece, and London, and finally back to Cork, where Barry and I got our old jobs back, and we worked there for 6 months. In August 1976, we rented out our house in Cork and left for Vancouver with 2 suitcases, where we intended staying for 1 year. Barry and I found jobs a week after arriving. I got a job with